Welcome to the Ramblecast.
You jumped the gun.
Damn it!
All right.
Well, you said ready go, and then
I hit
5
start,
seconds later.
But start it just didn't. I just told you my computer's going slow.
Give your computer some caffeine. Well, already ready?
Yes, we can start it again.
That was a dry run. Dry run. Hello and welcome to the Ramblecast. We don't have any ukulele this week, unfortunately, because Nick is not with us. But who is? I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jack. And that's it.
And that's it.
We don't have a fourth wheel tonight, so hopefully we're going to take this 3-wheeler off-road, do a little bit of dune bugging, get a little bit of sand in our hair.
Well, some of us won't, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your eyebrows are there for.
Get some sand in my shoes, huh?
Oh.
Welcome, everybody, to the Ramblecast. I don't remember the song.
Let's talk about hair loss for a second, shall we?
Okay, sure.
All right, sure. That's my favorite subject.
So, Jack, I've got time left, right? But I am thinning a little bit up here up top. Right?
How old are you?
I'll be 39 and
yeah, you're all right. You'll
actually next a week from today.
You'll make it to we'll make it to 50.
So it's thinning a little bit, right?
Yeah,
so I've been a little concerned about it.
Yeah, Matt's thinning a little bit too, there, man.
Yeah. I've got some thin stuff happening there. It's depending on where I part it. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole line there that's coming in.
Mine seemed to happen overnight. I mean, it really. I had great hair, and then what happened to your hair? I mean, it was like overnight.
So I decided to take a proactive stance.
Are you Rogaining it?
Not Rogaining it. I'm doing the other half. So it's I found this. It was almost as if like Facebook understands all of my inner fears and desires without me saying anything. I kept getting these ads for this company on Facebook, and I decided, what the hell, I'll give it a shot because the trial was fairly inexpensive. But the company's called Keeps. You've seen those ads on Facebook.
Actually, they don't waste their time with me.
No, you're too far gone.
I'm too far gone.
But it's hair loss medication, so it's technically Propecia is the pill, right?
Yeah.
So you get like a mail order of Propecia essentially. So I ordered like a 90-day supply for like $25 or whatever it was. And it's more expensive if you decide to stay on it. And brilliantly, they tell you real results you won't be seeing until 6 to 7 months. So they get you. They get you to get a discounted month, but then they get you for a second month. They get the money for it. Exactly. Get some results. So I said, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. So I'm a couple of weeks in taking Propecia.
Well, I told this story before. I took Propecia, and and it did work. I mean, I saw little hairs growing, but I had such an angry temper. I was like the Hulk. I mean, I was literally like I was playing hockey and wanted to fight everybody. That's the only thing I could think of at the time.
I think this is something we've talked about on maybe even a sports talk or something like that. Because I was like, oh shit, Propecia. Yeah, where do I know that from?
And that's what I blame it on, because I was taking it and literally it was either sure, my hair would have grown back, but someone was eventually going to shoot me. So
you were going to shoot them and cut them up into little pieces.
Exactly, but I don't have a gun, but I guess I could borrow one. So.
Ironically, I can't believe this is the first time I've decided to check on the side effects. And I'm looking at them, and holy shit! Granted, whenever you talk about side effects, they list everything under the sun. But impotence, loss of interest in sex, trouble having an orgasm, abnormal ejaculation. Okay, I am curious what that means.
What's that scary movie where he shoots her up in the air because he's in a while?
Superman?
No, it was a scary movie.
Oh, okay.
Anna Faris was the girl.
Oh yeah, yes, I remember that. Let's see. This is hysterical. So swelling in your feet and hands, swelling or tenderness of your breasts, dizziness, weakness, feeling like you might pass out. Oh, there you go, Jack. Headache, runny nose, or skin rash. It does not look like, Jack, there are any side effects that are related to anger.
It might have just been times I was going through.
It says Hulk out.
Hulk out. That's the only thing I can think of. But again, I ordered it online back in the 90s, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's when they used to cut it with rat poison.
But who knows what it was I was taking? But it did. I saw little hairs growing, little tiny hairs. I tried Rogaine too, but it burned my scalp.
Yeah.
Ironically, it also hallucination is one of the side effects as well.
Oh, really?
No,
is that from a brownie?
Anal leakage, development of a third nipple, third buttocks. I mean, all of these things could happen. So, developing a tail, not a rat tail. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I told it when I went to the doctor, and it was from passing out, and he wanted to prescribe this drug. My wife goes, "Wait a minute, what are the side effects?" And all the side effects, I go going, "No, I'd rather just pass out." He goes, "Yeah, a lot of people say that when they come back after they don't want to take it anymore." I want to say, "Why the fuck are you offering it? If it's that bad, I mean, like, wait, my dick's gonna fall off? I don't know if I want that. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that.
I'd rather pass out on my dick than
exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I am going to go ahead and don this hat to cover up my hairline loss.
Nice hat.
So, yeah, we already kind of discussed hats before the show, but I did order a Owen and Barew's ball cap, so it's kind of a good deal online. Hopefully, maybe provide this to some of the listeners that might want to purchase some things. I don't know. I guess there's a Jay and Jack store somewhere in development. So I would have ordered more for the rest of the Owen and Barew's crew, but I really didn't know how the logo was going to take to the hat. And as we discussed right before the podcast begun, apparently Chris has an abnormally large head.
I do.
But it'd be better advertisement for Owen Barew's because
I'd be like, Owen and Barew.
It'd be like a giant neon sign on Chris's head.
So that's a pretty sharp cap, though. Let me ask you a question. I can't see from here. So is that like a flat front, or is there a seam down the center of the front of the hat?
Oh, yeah, there's a seam down the center of the hat, and they even got the little J&J logo.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And thank you, Jacob Parr, for the lovely design. It actually turned out really, really great on the ball cap.
The only problem I have with it, it's a mesh hat. Because my wife, here's a nice, because I'm pretty picky about my hats too, and she goes, "Well, here's a mesh hat." I go, the reason I wear the hat too is keep the sun from burning my head. I'd have little dots all over my head from the mesh.
Oh, see, yeah. I prefer the mesh hat, and I have a kind of a farmer's hat that I used to wear, but it's red, and apparently red caps kind of denote certain things these days, and
I have one of those, and have got it's a San Diego State Aztec hat, and I've got some really dirty looks. I go, no, basketball.
Wait, what's the connection? I don't think I'm.
You're missing out on the connection of red ball caps and why they have a stigma these days.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm always like, no. So I usually don't wear it. I usually don't wear it because I don't want someone to hit me from behind because they see a red hat on my head.
It is one of my favorite ball caps. I have it's a beater hat that I have around here somewhere. I'm looking behind me, my studio here. I wear it. I've worn it forever. And it is a Jewel Grain Company ball cap. For those that live in Northwest Ohio, know that place. I've had it since I was a kid. Love it. But anyway, I decided to pick this out. The company that I ordered it from, they did have other styles of hats, but I custom chose this one.
I wouldn't get an Owen Barew's because I'm not part of the team.
It was surprisingly. I'll send you the link to the company because they had a nice introductory offer. So perhaps they're still running it. It would behoove us to maybe look into purchasing a couple of them and seeing
Maybe the RCAD.
Yeah, I know, right? As a logo, I think
I would love to make a push to get the type of hat that fits my head.
You have Jay's problem. Jay has a big melon.
I'll tell you, I was saying this before when the show started. Like all of my hats that I have now are all the brand is called Flex Fit, and they just have the right amount of hat, the right amount of front, the right amount of back, and the band of the side of the hat's wrapped around my head perfectly. They make a very, very comfortable hat. Yeah.
You know what they say about a man with a big melon? They got a big head.
Yeah, it's true. Indeed.
My son has a somewhat large cranium. He gets that from his mom. My daughter, though, she's got a kind of a smaller head like mine. So, but I hate getting too tall of a ball cap because I got a kind of a long face. I'm a tall guy, so
where it sticks up high.
Yeah, I don't really like to stick it up high. It's like I'm already tall as it is. It's like so. I think that's the one thing about the logo is that people can't actually see the logo because I'm so tall. My daughter was like, "What is on your ball cap?" She's just trying to like look up, and I finally had to like lean down and bend down so that she could. She was like, "Oh, for the ball." So,
Joanne with the plan gave me this hat.
Oh, that's rad.
That is awesome.
All of it. I don't wear it. I have it in my studio.
That
awesome. That is really cool.
For those listening, that is an Apollo 2 hat.
Apollo 11.
Oh,
11.
I know you saw I episode 2, but
they kind of went to the moon.
Yeah,
it's okay. But I love this hat, but I don't want to wear it because I have certain hats I don't wear. I just kind of collect them and put them up in my. Used to have a lot of Charger hats like that.
Oh, okay.
Now they're all gone.
Yeah.
I use them. I put them outside. I go, okay, you're a yard work hat now.
See, when I choose a hat because of my dome, like there's a couple, there's certain criteria I have to hit. Number one, it's got to be comfortable. It's got to wrap around my head. But I also like to wear my hats backwards as well as frontwards. So certain hats don't function well backwards. Hence the snapback hats. Snapback hats, you can rock backwards, but you're going to have like Morse code in your forehead whenever you take the thing off. But again, just a plea for the flex fit. They fit very nicely either frontwards or backwards.
I remember when those hats the snapback hats first came out was the greatest thing because playing Little League, they'd get as close as they could when I was a kid, but literally the hats, I had a small head, so I'd always have a hat that was like too big for me. And when they came up, I think it was like 10 or 11, they came out with the snap ones. I go, finally someone to help us all. I mean, luckily I had a lot of hair back then too, so I could just
sure. I've always had a fear that maybe the hats actually cause hairline receding, so it's like
that's what people say, and that could be it because I always wore hats.
Yeah, same.
So
I'm kind of more of a part-time
hat wear,
hat lover. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when the job fits, on the ball cap.
I've been good in the old West with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
10-gallon hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry I wasn't able to join you guys last week. Did you miss me?
Yeah, we did miss you.
Yeah.
We did. We're stuck with Jay.
I got smashed, guys.
Did you really?
If you listen to the extended version, for those patrons out there that are at $5 or more, big plug, you'll notice that my words start to kind of slur or I mess up a few words at some point. It's subtle, but I listen to it specifically like thinking, okay, when did I actually lose it? Because as you sit here podcasting and you're having a drink, you're enjoying a drink, you're like, oh, I'll just have another one. Exactly. You're like, oh, I'll just have another one.
Exactly.
Then when you're done podcasting, you actually get up to walk and you're like, holy shit, what have I done? Dear God. I crashed out on the couch and the room was spinning. I was like, I don't want to throw up to get over this one. I want to see this out. So
I'm going to suck it up and see it.
I'm gonna hold on to this storm and see if I can ride this baby out.
Ride in the storm out.
Whew. But yeah, vodka, man, that'll sneak up on you like a.
Yeah, it will.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like when you guys were talking about the Beatles last week. I still have concussion syndrome going on. So I was
that's right.
I was just covering my eyes the whole time while you guys were talking, because looking into the screen starts spinning and stuff. And I still have it. I still have the condition.
What do you do though, Jack? I mean, you're not a guy that you could actually go 48 hours in this treatment of just complete blackness.
And then they also tell you have to go. Your mind has to go blank and stop thinking about stuff. My mind never stops. So even when I'm sleeping, I'm like trying to tell myself, stop thinking. Because was it last night? I was watching the Padre game, but I made the mistake of going on the computer. So then by the time I went to bed, I'm like, oh my God, the room is spinning. I said, so there's some kind of, I guess, therapy they can do, physical therapy. I don't know if they do, smack your head around or something.
Wake up.
But I might go do that because it's getting to the point where it's.
Yeah, no. See, you should definitely see someone. I think that's
because I was barely on the computer today. I think I messaged you guys and then came back like 5 hours later. So I'm doing the best I can. I just stay off the computer, just because it's bad.
Yeah, well, we want you to recover.
Yeah, so, I do too.
I mean,
my career might be over. So now you see why these NFL players. I've had concussions probably my whole life because I grew up. We weren't wrapped in bubble wrap, but we used to ride bikes without helmets, and we get home. Just go sleep it off. You have rash, road rash all over your face and body. Go sleep it off. Told you not to go down the canyon.
I remember getting hit in the head with a baseball bat at least once in my life. So
that happened to me. I was catching. And I took off the mask and thought it'd be funny. I tried to grab the ball before the kid hit the ball.
Yeah,
I did, but he hit my head instead.
Oh, I do not. I still. Oh man, that is.
It's stupid. You do stupid things, and stupid things happen. And
one of my best friends growing up, I was batting, hit the ball, tossed the bat, right, and the bat flew out, hit him right in the throat.
Really?
Oh my God! I mean, I was just like,
you're a good friend.
This is a close friend of mine, and I mean. Yeah, okay. If I didn't know him, I mean, I would just be like, whatever, dude. No, I mean, it was serious enough that luckily there was an adult around, because back in those days, I mean, yeah, you played ball after school.
Yeah,
you just played ball. Like there was no adult around, right. And
that's when life was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'd go to the ball fields every day. Get on our bikes, take the bats, take the balls and gloves, and go play baseball.
That's all we did when I grew up. The rule was when the street lights came on, it was time to come home for dinner.
Yeah.
I would get home from school. I had a paper route. I had a 32 paper route, so I could get that done as soon as I got home. And then we'd either be down at the park playing baseball, or there was this like a wooded area near my house where there was like 100 years ago, there was like a paper mill. I grew up on a street called Paper Mill Road, and there's an old paper mill river or stream that kind of right there where it used to be like a water mill and a whole night. What do you call it? Is that a water mill? Yeah, like the wheel.
Yeah.
Used to be there. It's all gone. But all the stonework is still there. And we used to go on there. We used to build these crazy forts. Like we like make these lean-to forts where we dig stuff out and we make little chairs for ourselves. And then, somebody would steal one of their dad's nudie magazines, and we keep it inside of our little fort or whatever. And we were just kids. And then one day we went down there. And we went to this fort was pretty kick-ass, right? So it was right near the waterfall. We dug out this area. We brought like shovels down there. We dug the whole thing out. We made like these little bench with and we covered the bench with like tarp and stuff so we could sit down and wouldn't get all dirty. And it was like probably like a good 10 foot by 10 foot like dig out of a fort, covered in everything. We make a branch roof, and it was awesome until one day we went down there and a fucking homeless dude moved in.
Oh shit!
We were so pissed.
You built a nice home for it.
We did. Well, I guess we're changing the world for it, right? But
yeah,
I was so mad.
You guys were the first Habitat for America.
There you go. So mad we couldn't go hang out in our little hangout. There's just this creepy, weird homeless guy in there. He just we called him Mickey because we would see him all over the place, and he always every single day wore this gray Mickey Mouse, like a heather gray Mickey Mouse T-shirt that had blue cutoff sleeves.
Maybe he was one of the Mouseketeers.
Could have been, man. I don't know, but like, we were so pissed.
It could have been Cubby, the original Mouseketeer.
But yeah, so that ended our adventures in the woods because we didn't want to get abducted or murdered. So,
good times, man.
It was good times growing up. The shit we did when we were kids growing up. It was fun.
Yeah, we had our neighbor, my next door neighbor. His dad was a carpenter, and he built the coolest treehouse. It was of course it wasn't in a tree, but we called it a treehouse anyway. And he had this. It was just great functioning door, all this different stuff. Well, we used to have dirt clod wars. We'd get team up, and the key was to get into there. You'd start at a certain spot. Was key was but you're getting pelted by dirt clods. And I've never been hit by a dirt clod, but it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But inside there, they had he had this bench that opened up, and we loaded it with dirt clods. So once you got there, you could just start pelting the guys that were trying to get to the clubhouse, pelting with dirt clods.
That's awesome.
I don't know how any of us didn't lose an eye or didn't get permanently maimed. We used to throw darts. Just get darts and throw at targets, and sometimes you get kind of close to another person or something like that. It was good times.
My dad, they used to play. There's a certain weed that you could pull out, and it became kind of like a javelin kind of dart kind of thing. He got hit in the eye with one of those.
Oh,
forever,
really?
Forever, kind of like.
Yeah, it can be bad. It can be bad. I don't know what the tree is called, but it's those little things that they have like spikes on them. Like a vine.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, we used to chuck those at each other too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When they're green, nice ripe.
Most of
us had wrist rockets.
Yeah.
We just boom, wow, motherfucker. We didn't cuss back then. It's like shoot.
Yeah. Sure.
So fast forward 30 years, and I found myself the other day at a bar that had axe throwing. You guys ever been to one of those or seen those?
I saw one where a lady threw it. It bounced. It came right back over her head.
Yeah, we all saw that too. We were terrified. But we went out for like a group birthday outing because like there's myself and like 4 or 5 other friends and my wife. We all have May birthdays. So instead of trying to do something for everybody, we said let's just go out.
Did you guys invite Mickey?
No. No, Mickey's probably dead, man. So we went to this like bowling alley bar arcade place local, and they just this season or maybe last year, I'm not sure when, added a section for axe throwing, which is like a whole new fad in the bar scene, I guess. And it was. I was.
Hey man, let's get high and throw axes.
Right? What could go wrong?
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, they made this suggestion. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I'll go to the axe throwing. And I was like, I totally shat on the idea internally.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gonna be so fucking stupid. Until we get there, and lo and behold, axe throwing is a ton of fun, man. Like, and I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I'm no Jason Momoa. I don't know if you've seen him on Ellen. He's a beast at throwing axes, but yeah, we actually had like a ton of fun doing it. And granted, the axes that you use, they're blunted axes. The chances of you maiming somebody are decreased.
What's the sport in that then?
I don't know, but it's actually it was pretty fun, man. I got
have like a target on it. You have to get
So the place where I went to had like 3 or 4 lanes essentially, and each lane has got like a chain link fence separating the other, so axes don't bounce off in someone else's path. But you stand probably like 10, 15 feet away, and then on the wall in front of you is a big wood, like a few wooden panels. They have a painted target on them, so you're tossing the axe as if you're throwing darts, really.
Well, how often do they have to place those panels?
Great question. I asked them that, and they said they typically about once a week at that place, so they're not super busy, but about once a week, depends on how good people are. But I was chipping away at that son of a bitch. I think they had to replace the one I was using after I was done. Just saying.
You keep score, or it just.
Yeah, some people do. We all just went. We had like 10 of us who rented out the area, and we're just throwing axes.
So there's a guy in the corner playing darts, and nobody wants to play with him.
Oh. So
axe throwing is what
the best. This is the best part, Jack. So there's like the axe throwing guy, like the supervisor, right? So like, and just picture in your mind who do you think would be the manager of the area who's managing in the axe throwing. If you could picture in your mind what that person sounds like, looks like, and acts like, you are 100% correct.
So, right here we have axe throwing.
Dude, it was the best, man. Like this kid, he's probably in his early to mid 20s, and he fucking loved his job. You know what I mean? Like he had so much fun, and like the stupid axe puns that he would make the entire time was they were amazing. But he took such pride in his job, and he was like demonstrating to us how to throw axes, and he was just so very specific about technique and all this bullshit, and he couldn't fucking stick an axe. I felt bad for him because he was so excited to show somebody how to throw an axe.
I'm on the ground floor, man. I'm on the ground floor of something really good.
Like I was just waiting for him to be
Olympic sport.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
And we totally humored him though. Like, you know, like it was fun because like this, he was definitely a bit socially awkward. He was not, you know, he's on a different wavelength, no question. But you could tell how passionate he was about throwing axes. So we just gave into him, right? Like we let him do his thing. We kind of like just made him have fun with us. You know, it was like we were a good group for him to be a part of because
you weren't a dick to him.
No, but people, you can tell how people probably would be a dick to him.
Yeah, especially the part where people were drinking.
Exactly. So I was just waiting for him to like open up his secret chest of like fucking throwing stars and like shit like that, but you know he didn't. But overall, man, it was actually I had way more fun throwing axes than I ever thought I could have, even watching Game of Thrones.
You mean the ending?
That's what I meant.
Okay.
No, but like in all honesty, like I had a lot more fun than I thought I would during this event. And if you guys ever have the opportunity in a local place near where you are, anyone listening,
well, maybe
check it out, man. It's actually a ton of fun.
Maybe it'll come to Raleigh, and then next year, get together.
I mean, you said a group of 10. I'm thinking, wow, this is like a Raleigh meetup kind of thing right here.
And there's got to be people we don't like at the group, right? I'm thinking
there's people who got to look out for.
There's got to be someone we don't like.
Sure.
So, oops, I'm sorry. No, is that too harsh?
I plead the fifth.
No, man, I'm not talking about you.
What? No, me.
No, but in all honesty, it's pretty cool. So
it's actually cool. The kid cared about his job because most of the time you get in there and nobody cares. And you ask, and they just look at you like, if you ask them something stupid, they look at you like, what?
And literally all he does is just stand there and watch you throw axes. It was like literally his job, but he had to be like the employee that was assigned to it.
Nice for him.
Yeah,
it's like the Walmart greeter. You go in there and you have to actually say hello to them.
Yeah. So we flipped them like $40 at the end of it. It's just like, here's a tip. He goes, oh, guys, thank you. This is gonna be my dinner for the next couple of nights. And I was like, oh, Jesus, dude.
And you said, is your name Mickey?
Is your dad Mickey? I mean, remember, he's like 20 something. So
yeah, okay. Well, we don't. Who knows? Mickey could have aged well,
or he's a vampire.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thanks. Now I can buy a new axe.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own private axe collection.
So, of course, here I am thinking about this. I'm like, shit, I'm building one of these in my backyard. I'm looking at it. The best part, though, is I'm looking at, like, I threw my axe and I went up and I looked at it. I was like, kind of looking behind it, just kind of like getting an idea of how they make the wood panels. and all you can hear 15 feet away is my wife saying, "Don't even fucking think about it. You're not building more of those." I'm like, yeah, might be.
What about horseshoes? Could you build a horseshoe pit?
I could. That's easy,
but that doesn't have the same thrill of like,
yeah, dude, you're not
blade.
Well, you have them specially made with spikes on them or something like that. So when it bounces the wrong way, it could hit someone in the shin or something like that.
Oof.
That's weird and sadistic. But anyways,
I didn't say you make it more dangerous. I mean, like an axe.
Oh, what about cornhole with axes? You know,
cornhole.
This is something about throwing an axe is just kind of, I don't know.
I wonder how long that'll last. Because like I said, I saw the lady on TV. She throws it, she hits the bottom, and it comes flying back over her head. I didn't realize it was like toned down though.
We threw axes for an hour. Like, I mean,
did you have like axe arm afterwards? Or you were like, oh, my elbow. Yeah, what did I do?
My side was sore the next day. That's just...
Well, you probably did the kid tell you to stretch properly?
No, he didn't.
Take the tip. Tell Mickey you want your money back because
I would take at least $10 off.
Because part of the job, he should be telling you, hey, you got to stretch properly. You got to stretch properly to do this axe throwing thing. You know,
he was such the comic book guy too. It was so funny. Like he was that guy, man. Like you could tell he just wanted to get into like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones chat about what we were doing. He wanted to so badly, but he was restraining himself. So we kind
of like you.
Yeah, you know, we did our best to get to provide an environment in which he could flourish and enjoy what he was doing.
Yeah, last week I don't think I told the story last week. I went to the bank and there was 4 guys talking about the shot that Kawhi Leonard made. I think I talked about a little bit where it bounces off. Well, Kawhi Leonard went to San Diego State, and they're talking about going to the Clippers. He's going to go to the Clippers. I go, look, we don't want Kawhi Leonard going to the Clippers, and they all just kind of looked at me like, but I don't like the Clippers either because they left San Diego. So I got to talking with this older guy. He was like in his 60s. And he was telling me his whole career. Of how he could have been in the NFL. He was fast. He had 404 meters, all this different stuff. But he didn't have hands. No one ever taught him how to catch the ball. The whole time I go, it was a great story because you get to hear all the different stories he's telling. But I just came in here to do some bank business. Why did I even open my mouth? What was I thinking?
I could have been a contender.
I could have been, but he was like, I go, well, I could catch everything, but I was short, too small. But he didn't care about my story.
Oh no.
I think his name was Mickey.
Fucking Mickey, dude. Anywho,
but usually I keep quiet in public. I didn't kind of just go under the radar, but.
Can we take a couple minutes to talk about something I'm really kind of pissed about?
What's that?
Is this the Game of Thrones thing? Because I got to go get a beard. Okay. All right. I'll let you talk for a little bit.
Before we do that, let's take a commercial break.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Anyway, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, man. Like, I tuned in. Yeah, well, I won't spoil it. I'll do my best not to spoil. I'll talk very thematically, but like, so I tuned into you guys as you did your live show the other night, and I was definitely a keyboard warrior, just spouting off hate because I was just kind of like fresh off of what I had just watched. And for the record, Jack, you just offered for me to join you in a chat later this week to talk about it.
I did,
and I actually don't want to because I don't want to sound like I am sounding. Essentially, we like in the show and the things I've posted, like, but man, I'm just let down. Like I'm just mad. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be like the guy who's sitting here, nitpicking every little thing about it. But I do feel let down about how this last season and ultimately the season finale unfolded.
Well, you're not alone.
I know I'm not alone, and that I'm being very conscientious of that because a lot of people the internet is a fucking terrible place. Let's just first start there. The internet's a terrible place. It's a breeding ground for people who just spout off things that they hate,
exactly,
or love.
I follow Matt.
Yeah, but and I don't want to sound like that, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that. Man, I'm just very disappointed in.
You're saying 8 years of your life. Well, actually, it was 10 years, wasn't it?
And let's be honest, the majority of those 8 years, I'm very okay. Let's speak specific to the show. The majority of the 8 years of watching this show over 8 separate seasons have brought tremendous entertainment and joy. I've really enjoyed the show, and and in the overall sense of it, I loved the Game of Thrones. Right, in the overall sense of it, I just feel like this last season and ultimately the final episode just didn't deliver on what 8 years of the show I feel like should have. And like I felt like it was just going back to it, was like there's some lazy writing. It was a lazy story that they bit off so much in the span of 8 seasons that they just, I don't think they knew how to tell it and how to finish it in the show in the time that they had. Like I felt just pissed watching that episode. I felt like I was just not being cheated, but like I just felt like, man. And Jack, you mentioned earlier, and you said on the show that you didn't love it. You liked it. It was good enough. And my biggest criticism of is the fact that it shouldn't be good enough, because good enough isn't when it comes to the series finale of an 8 season, 8 episode, or 8 whatever 8 season show. Like I just felt like good enough isn't in this particular scenario, and I'm just kind of upset with how it ended. But again, I want to repeat what I said earlier. I am grateful for the 8 seasons or the 7 seasons, I should say, that I actually really did enjoy, and I got a lot of entertainment out of, and listening to you guys talk about it and watching it and talking with friends. There's a lot I took away from it. I just feel like that it was underserved at the end.
Yeah, I think my opinion is they try to do what the fans didn't want, or what the fans were predicting. So they went the opposite way, and I think it hurt. They should have just did what the fans wanted.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay. So on one hand, maybe. But, how much of this is also George R.R. Martin not finishing these books? Like, and I'm not laying blame on him. I'm just saying that there was already a blueprint in place that they could pick from and take from what they chose to enact in the TV show itself. I remember fans, especially book readers, being super hypercritical of certain things when it did follow the book, because they were very upset with the things that they left out. And here we have kind of the opposite, where it's just like, okay, there is no book, but you feel like something's missing. And I wonder if that part is George R.R. Martin's ultimate vision.
It could be, man. Because you could be completely right with that.
You don't have that blueprint. You don't have that backbone to say, okay, this is, we'll put this little nugget in here. We'll put this little chestnut there. And there's no nuance to the story. You have an overarching structure, and that's what they could follow, but they couldn't follow through with the breadth or the depth that a lot of fans came to expect with the first 5 seasons. And there was a lot of criticism of last season for, I remember fans being critical of last season as well, feeling like it wasn't as deep as.
Well, I think a lot of people going into this season were stressed out. It wasn't going to be very good.
Okay, I will say that as a casual fan and someone who just tunes in to watch, I watched it and I was like, cool, all right. There were certain beats that I kind of expected to happen. Like I kind of was like, when Jon was going in to kill Daenerys, I was like, okay, he is the only person that can get past the dragon. He is the only person that can get this close. It is up to him. I have questions as to how Arya got past all of those frickin', sullied, the unsullied, like as she.
But she's Arya.
I know, but all of a sudden she's just like, hey, Jon, how you doing? And I'm just like, well, how the fuck did you get up the stairs? Like, we saw all of those guards. Like,
maybe you just like a shadow? Maybe she put on a face.
Okay, but there's not enough face time to do the face changing.
There are plenty of faces all over the place.
Right, there are, but
that weren't burnt.
We never got to see the face changing thing play out. We never got to see certain things play out. I think there are certain things that got played out that, as people that were like, why is John not saying goodbye to his dog? And then finally he does, he greets his dog. It's the one time he smiles. He hated going back to the Night's Watch.
Oh, yeah.
You could see it in his face. And the one time he smiled was when he actually saw his dog, which was awesome. And so there were moments that
the dog smiled too.
Yeah, and the moment with Drogon and Daenerys, and I'm at least enough of a person that I can say, oh, I'm imagining what can happen next. And I don't think Daenerys is dead. I think that the dragon took her off and she's reborn again. Honestly, that is my own creative take on that ending. Maybe they could have taken that a little bit further.
It was a stomach wound. She probably died.
No, okay.
Gut shot.
Okay, Jon came back by some fucking witch magic.
Yeah.
She can come back by dragon magic. I don't care. The Drogon flew off like a sad little puppy dog, taking her body. He's not going to bury her. To me, I feel like she's going to be born again.
He's going to need food somewhere down the line too.
Okay, yeah, but she's going to be born again. That's just how I felt about it. That's my own personal take on it. Just like when Bran was just like, oh, I'm going to find the dragon. He's going to warg into the dragon. I liked how Bran's storyline played out. I just felt let down by the fact that we didn't really find out, well, when does this Bran warging thing ever pay off? So there were certain things
that's the thing that pisses me off, man.
There are certain things that I feel like didn't play out to our full benefit. I'm with Nick's criticism and saying they should have gone a full 10 episodes.
I agree with that 100%.
But that being said, I actually did enjoy the final. I liked how the finale had two parts to it. I kind of wished that the second half was its own episode and the first half was its own episode. And that if they would have padded those 45 minutes more into a solid 60 minutes, just as the whole setup to the battle of the battle of the Red Keep, basically, if they had set that up more and we actually had a whole episode that you saw Varys trying to poison her, that you saw all of the machinations leading up to that moment. If you saw Sansa in the North dealing with her, power, struggle, I think some of those things, I think fans maybe would have been a little bit more satisfied.
I would agree with that. Like I said, it's not perfect. Like I said, I know there's been a lot of complaints, and I was probably on board with it too, where Tyrion is a prisoner. All of a sudden, he makes the suggestion and he nominates Bran. First, I was like, that was pretty stupid. I was on board with that. And I started thinking, how many times has Tyrion been in handcuffs and survived?
Yeah.
I go, it's not the first time that's happened. He's looking at the panel of people on there, he's well respected with most of those people on there. So they're going to listen to him when he speaks. So at first I was like, this is just stupid. And I went, I was thinking about it the other day. I go, oh, there was that time here, that time there. I go, that guy's been close to death 100 times.
But I feel like we should have had a kernel of a nugget of how Grey Worm was well, we're not going to kill these two. You know what I mean? He was bloodthirsty as anybody else. Yeah. How did they just keep those prisoners? How did he just keep Jon without killing him?
But Grey Worm is he follows the rules, though.
Right, and he has no brain for himself, so I don't understand how he can actually command a whole army to say, well, we're going off, wherever. But I loved Nick's meme that he shared with us, where it said something like, no one says anything about Bran, but Sansa's like, how can he sire a child? His dick doesn't work. It's like, Sansa, really? You're the one? It's gonna like throw him under the bus for like.
I was rooting for Sansa to be the queen.
I was too. I
really thought that's the direction they should have went.
I
think there'd been a lot more people a little more happy, but maybe the reason that Tyrion had that conversation with Bran, we never heard. So remember, he tell me your story. So maybe that's why they put that in.
Tyrion starts talking about the story thing, and I'm thinking, who doesn't have a better story than Jon? Jon Snow has a perfect, great story. He survived death.
He was fucking useless.
He was useless, but
he literally had no purpose. If you removed Jon Snow from the story this entire season, the show would not be different.
Well, he got the coalition together.
And he did connect with the dragon, like so. I mean, that part.
But what the fuck? The dragon died. The dragon didn't do anything. The dragon that he connected with was pointless.
Okay, but he could get past the dragon to get to Daenerys,
which is bullshit. Because when he killed Daenerys, when Drogon
allegedly, he's not been tried.
Right, whatever. Like the fact that the dragon didn't fucking kill him is stupid.
Okay,
it's totally stupid. And what they could have done, what would have saved that scene for me, like what would have absolutely saved that whole scenario, it would have been great storytelling. Is if that, and I know this isn't, I'm not the only person who said this. I think David Gott mentioned this on our page, or mentioned in one of his predictions. But if that dragon just bared down on him and fucking roasted him, and then all of a sudden, a la season 2 or 3, whatever, John's just sitting there butt naked, unburnt, like because he's Valyrian. No, I'm dead serious. That would have been fucking awesome. That would have been a validating end to his story. The fact that he's actually, Valyrian or whatever the fuck it is, Targaryen rather.
Yeah.
Like that would have been badass if like he got burnt or toasted, but unburnt. And would be able to rise up and be like, "Fuck you, bitches! I'm the new guy," right? Like that would have been a really badass way of ending it. Furthermore, having him have a battle to the death with Grey Worm would have been a fucking awesome way to do it.
That was my
I think
I agree with that.
I think both of you point to the fact that after Daenerys is killed, we needed something else meaty to happen.
Right.
There was nothing else.
We also needed something else meaty to happen throughout the entire season, though. I mean,
I mean, there's parts of the season that I did enjoy, and people can say that I'm blind to the show, but maybe I'm just watching it in a bubble or what have you. But there's parts of the season that I really enjoyed, and until I got on the internet, I was like, oh shit, people hate this shit. Okay, all right, fair enough. But
I enjoyed the first 2 episodes for what they were. Granted, it was Westeros high school reunion, but I enjoyed it because it was fun.
They had the Letterman sweater and everything.
Like the characters you dig were on there, talking as the whole like the fact that Jaime Lannister knighted what's name just so he could bang her, which is kind of annoying. But there was at the time it felt good, and then you realize he only did it to get laid, which kind of sucks.
Okay,
but like. Yeah, but all the other stuff, like like the whole, what's his name, the bearded guy, fucking
Davos,
Tormund, like the Tormund stuff was funny. Davos turned into like comedic Davos for the last season. Like he never had anything that wasn't like a funny punchline, which I just was weird.
Yeah,
like
Davos was kind of a one-stroke character of like
he has been working on a stand-up.
Yeah. No, but all of his scenes were very sitcom-y. I mean, Chris is right. It's just like, you turn to Davos and he's like, well, what are you going to do?
I'm not even sure why if I get a vote here, but if I did, I'd choose him. Like, shut up. Like, come on. Like, what a waste. Like, this dude had his goddamn fingers cut off. He was wrapped around his neck for how many years following, Stannis Baratheon, and going through all this bullshit with Tyrion and all the craziness of the wildfire and all that stuff, and how he led the fleet and all this other stuff, and he gets a fucking comedy spot at the council. Like, what the shit is that? That's just stupid, lazy ass fucking writing. It pissed me off. It really did. And the whole the head nod to democracy, like that's just the right writers trying to be fucking cute with the way that the political structure is right now in our country, which is fucking terrible. I get it. But like, why would you have Tarly talk about a fucking democracy and have it be literally a joke? Like, it was an actual stand-up like section.
Well,
I sat there and laughed at. Oh, you want to get? Maybe my horse could get a vote too. No, that was fucking stupid. It was a waste of time. And it was a waste of a fucking story ending for him. It was not good.
That's his punishment for having the water bottle by his foot.
Yeah.
Now I did point out about the water bottle and the Starbucks cup, and I think I'm valid in this, is that these are remnants of our existence, and that Game of Thrones takes place in the far future. That's the only way that you can rectify why these things exist. They're remnants, they're relics.
You know what? SodaStream took an opportunity to make an ad about it, right? So they actually superimposed or photoshopped the SodaStream bottle behind his leg, and it just has Game of Thrones text. There, we fixed it.
Now, the reason I say, and your points are all valid, and I'm glad you didn't want to come across the guy that didn't like it. But
sorry.
Sorry. Okay, it's okay. I have no problem with people. It's like Lost people that didn't like the ending of Lost. I go, you're entitled. We're not robots. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But the reason I say it was good enough because I can rewatch this, and I will rewatch it. Mm-hmm. But I will fight people to the death that keep comparing it to Dexter. I will fight you.
Oh yeah, no, it's nowhere near that.
The way my physical condition is right now, I'd lose. But I would fight you to the death because it's not. Dexter the ending was so bad. As great as it was the first 4 or 5 seasons, and the first 4 seasons are just gold.
Yeah, they should have ended at the 4th season, honestly.
Well, they could have done a couple more seasons, but it just got stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, think about this: like Breaking Bad went 4 seasons.
I thought it went 5.
Well, they spread out that 4th season. So
and you got to remember, how many shows were Breaking Bad? How many shows were great from the start to the end? How many shows?
I mean, it was good. It was good throughout. I mean, it was solid. I mean, you can. There were some lulls, in certain episodes, and people still like to debate the Fly episode, but
yeah, but I had no problem with the Fly episode.
Right, me either. I think it's genius, but that's me. There were certain things that I wanted to happen, Chris, and I was disappointed.
You look at Seinfeld. Everybody in America was watching Seinfeld, the final thing. How many people that's it? That's what you guys came up with? I just think it's. I'm not making excuses for the writers because I think they could have gone different directions, but I think it's hard.
But here's the thing, and here's where I draw. There's a lot of comparisons being talked about right now on the internet. Obviously, people talk, "Oh, it's like Lost, it's like Seinfeld ending, blah 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 blah." The one thing I will defend with Lost, and why I think it's different than what we're going through now, is that the people who, and this is my opinion, I feel like of all the conversations with people that I've talked to, and there's been many, of people who did not like the Lost ending, the common denominator from everybody who's talked shit about the Lost ending is that they didn't actually get the ending.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Yeah. They didn't get it at all. They're just like, oh, they're dead the whole time. No, you didn't get it.
There's nothing to not get with this ending. That's the difference for me. Like it was very plain and black and white or gray, however you want to look at it. Like that's what this ending is. This is what the story is. This is how each of these people have wrapped up or didn't wrap up or whatever. It's just all on the table. So I think there's a distinct difference between shows or even like the Sopranos.
Yeah, I mean, Sopranos actually had a bold move.
It's whatever you wanted to believe happened.
Yeah, but it was brave.
Some people thought it was a cop out.
Yeah, but it was brave though. I mean, those people that think it was a cop out, they just have no brain cells.
Those are people that want to be spoon fed.
Exactly, and okay. So I liked this episode, and it's not because I liked things to be spoon fed, but I did like the outro images. I liked how they married up all of the Stark kids going out. I liked, I do see the point of the fans that are frustrated, and I go back to the fact that if George R.R. Martin had written these out, and I mean nuanced because I've read his statements about it, if this was there for the writers to pick from, would they have given us a full meal? And I do think that this season has been shortchanged. It's a 6-episode season. We're used to 10.
I'll never understand why they went with 6.
I don't either.
I hate that extended episode crap. Because you really don't. It's like when Sons of Anarchy started going to the hour and a half episodes.
I mean, it's the same reason why I don't like the split episode, the split season. I mean, I didn't like it with Breaking Bad. I didn't like it with Mad Men. However, I liked both of those last seasons. I know that some people didn't like the last season of Mad Men.
Well, Jay was like saying they should have split this up. I go, it was 2 years.
Yeah. I don't think that they should have split up. I think they should have just stuck with 10 episodes. That's your traditional season, and divided these up. Not had hour and a half. Like, give us a full meal.
I don't think you gain anything by having longer episodes. I point to because that's when I stopped watching it.
And by the way, Brienne is pregnant with Jamie's baby. It's just they had sex more than once, people. Okay, she's clearly pregnant with it.
But also, Danny was pregnant with John's baby,
and she's going to give birth to that when she's reborn.
You know nothing, baby. But again, I have no problem with the people that didn't like it. Chris, I have no problem with you. You didn't like it. I get it. But I'll rewatch it. I'll have no problem rewatching it, even though in the ending.
I think there was a really cool article I was reading earlier today on the Scientific American, talking about the real reason why people were upset with the last season. And I think it actually goes beyond this last season, but like the last couple of seasons. They shifted from a sociological show to a psychological show in the last couple of seasons. And also that happens to be right around the time where they shifted away from, Martin's material as well. It's a really cool article to read. Just check it out if you guys, it's on the scientificamerican.com talking about this last season.
Another problem too is you have George R.R. Martin, who has a great imagination, was great storytelling. And these guys are trying to, this is what they came up with. I'm assuming did he have any input? Have we ever?
Yeah, he was like an executive producer of sorts, but I don't think he's got so much shit that he's doing right now. He's actually producing a bunch of shows as well.
Yeah.
Again, I think the scaffolding is there, but you don't have the depth or the complexity of the characters. I mean, he mentioned it in his blog post or whatever that I read earlier today. About all of these other characters that he's going to talk about and he's going to get to their end. Okay, well, fucking do it. I mean, I'm a creative, slow-ass person as well, but, yeah. Oh, geez. I mean, it's going to be released as, like, the notes of or, like, the sketches of, it's going to be, like, some kind of, like, Frank Herbert kind of, like, bullshit, but whatever.
But I think I called it out, and Nick and I were talking about this before as well. Like, I can pinpoint the moment where I was like, oh boy, this show, and just kind of like the moment where I feel like I was kind of losing the show or the show was losing me, was the infamous episode in which they dragged the fucking dead dragon out of the water with those chains.
Oh, the chains, yeah, that was stupid.
That episode, like that point, I believe might have been the same episode that Jon Snow died.
No.
That
was way before that, because Jon Snow died at the season ending, I think.
I think that was the point in which I started like just the show is getting away, and
I loved that part.
But
zombie dragons.
The part I had, I said it on we podcast, but I go, where the hell did they get the chains?
I do remember.
Where the hell? Because that was the one part I go, you couldn't explain, because
apparently Harbor Freight is open in West.
No, how you make the chains though is out of ice.
No,
so
stop.
you got.
No, I'm not buying that one.
All right. We're gonna get off Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Here, because I think Nick's
time to get off the throne.
Well, the throne's burnt, and Danny never got to sit on the throne.
That is true. She never got to sit on it, and I do like the. I did. I mean, okay. Well, we're going to move on from Game of Thrones.
The dragon said, if Danny ain't sitting on it, nobody's sitting on it.
I do have to share something with Chris. I know, Chris, you've been reading to your daughter, at night. You've been reading Harry Potter. It's a great.
It's a new thing, and loving it. So those who didn't see the post I put on Facebook, through a suggestion of one of my friends, my daughter's friends, father, who started reading Harry Potter to their kids. I'm like, that's a phenomenal. I can't believe I didn't think about this. Like, that's a great idea. She would never be able to read on her own, but I've taken the opportunity to read to her, and it's an absolute true delight. Like, she is in awe of the story, and it's fucking awesome. So I'll say that if you have the opportunity to read to your kids, do it, because it's amazing what it'll do.
And I second that, even though I'm not reading Game of Thrones to my kids. Oh, I mean, sorry, Harry Potter. Can you imagine reading Game of Thrones to your kids? But anyway, I'm sure there's the
best part is you can change the ending.
You can change the ending. You can make it your own. You just start like making up your own. No, I've read to my kids as well. We're reading a novel together. I read it and I do the different voices, and it's fun. It's a really great bonding experience. It's about a 20-minute a night kind of thing, like right before bedtime, and I think it's an awesome way to bond with your kids. I wanted to share because I know Chris is a big Avengers fan as well. I've been exploring more of the Avengers universe with my son. We saw Endgame together, and so of course he's curious about some of the other movies, and he was sick the last couple days. He came down with a really strong fever, and so he had to stay home. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. We can watch a couple of these movies together
that he hasn't seen yet.
Yeah, some of the ones that he hadn't seen yet. So I was like, oh, well, let's watch Thor Ragnarok. It's my personal favorite.
Ragdork?
Yeah, Ragnadork. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we watched that together. He loved that. And then we rewatched Infinity Game together. So we kind of, chronologically like connected those two and then today we watched, cause he was still at home sick because of this fever. We watched Civil War and we watched Ant-Man and Wasp. And
he's never going to want to go back to school.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still got a fever, Dad.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've seen Ferris Bueller. Has he seen Ferris Bueller?
No, he hasn't. No, okay. No. But he's totally loving all of the watching of the Avengers movies. Is like, man, it's like I feel like it's still the weekend. I'm like, you're going back to school, dude. Like, there's only like 5 days left of school. You're going back. So anyway, he tonight though he got out of bed and he's just like, Civil War, I'm just thinking about it and it's kind of scary. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty intense. Like, yeah. Civil War, like if you watch it, I mean, it's got some intense shit that goes down.
It was part of Gettysburg?
Yeah, Gettysburg, yeah. We watched the actual, I was like, hey, we talked about slaves.
This is the part Nick hates.
I mean, the battle that the Avengers have with one another is awesome. But all of the back stuff leading up to that and some of the kind of gritty things that go on in Civil War, like they were a little intense for him. So I'm glad that we watched Ant-Man and Wasp because it's a little bit more lighter fare. Because he got up and he was like, oh, I'm still thinking about Civil War. And I'm like, okay, buddy, it's just a movie. You gotta like calm down. Like it's all right.
No, he's only 9 though, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some intense like scenes like in Civil War. So, but anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun sharing. I just wanted to.
Is he going back to school tomorrow?
Yeah, he is actually.
He's going to school tomorrow. I don't feel good, teacher.
He has to go back.
Can my dad pick me up?
He's got a field trip on Thursday, which I'm chaperoning on. So yeah, no.
Where you guys going? The paper mill?
No, the paper mill. I don't run a mill, by the way. No, we're going to the Indiana State Museum. What was that, Chris?
That's where the fort was built, where Mickey stole from us on Paper Mill Road.
Yeah, Paper Mill Road. Well, that makes sense with the.
Damn, Mickey, you're so fine. You stole my fort all the time. Hey, Mickey.
Did they import the cotton from the South?
Yeah, they probably did.
I'm just saying, a lot of paper is made from cotton.
Hey, I did want to say about did you see that one guy, he's a really rich guy, gave a commencement speech and paid for all their tuition, $40 million?
Oh my gosh. That also reminded me of, sorry, I've been watching so much Marvel, but it reminded me of Iron Man.
So. Well, it reminded me of Michael Scott from The Office. Remember when he promised the kids, and when they're in elementary school, I'll pay for your college tuition, and they all got... And he came there and he couldn't give him anything but toner printer ink.
I guess you've been watching The Office lately,
I just rewatched it about 6 months ago. But I always remember that episode. Then when I saw that, and then Oprah gave a commencement speech, and then people gave her crap for not paying for their tuition. So you know what's going to happen now when they ask for commencement speeches? It's going to be poor people like me going to get the speeches because. I'm sorry, all the rich people said no because they didn't want to pay for your tuition. I got nothing, so, good luck in life. Life sucks. Yeah. Just keep your head up. Probably most of you won't even get the job you wanted, but you know what? Fight hard. There you go. There's my commencement speech. But I just thought, no rich people are going to want to do commencement speeches anymore. This guy has set the bar up here. I mean, it's like, $40 million. Of course, he says we're billions, but it's like $40 million. I went, holy crap! Can you imagine being the guy that was like 2 credits short because he kept getting stoned and didn't feel like going to class?
Sure, yeah, no kidding.
I'll just go next year. I'll just go next week. But next year, what's one more semester? I'm having a cool time. Fuck me, man.
Or he failed. Like he failed like 2 classes, so he can't graduate. And his dad's like, "You fucking idiot! You could, geez."
Yeah. Because there are kids.
Oh yeah,
that fucked around,
definitely,
and had parties and all the different shit. And Chris raised his hand, but didn't, and he felt, like you said, a couple credits short of graduating. And I'd be like, man,
it's okay if I just take 5 years or 6. Or whatever, man.
It's okay. I'm still young. Fuck, man.
I did 4.5 years.
I need one of Drake's brownies. Yeah.
The best part is I graduated in what the equivalent of 4.5 years would have been. When in actually, but I split up that half year amongst the entire year. So I took 2 classes per semester. It was awesome. I literally had 2 classes in the spring, 2 classes in the fall, 2 classes in the spring on the 5th year. So I graduated a year late, but I could have done it. I just chose not to.
And that could have paid for your tuition.
So I went to school for 2 classes a semester and worked like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I actually paid off my undergrad degree. So
congrats, dude.
I went part-time and worked. Now my master's degree. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that.
I have $9,000 left in my student loans.
That is a beautiful thing, my friend.
Yeah.
I signed up for school and never went. Got the classes and everything and said, I'll go next semester. And now I'm 56. How old am I? 56. I'll be 57 here soon. Never went back. But I grew up in a generation where you could go get a job.
Get concussions.
Get concussions, yeah. We had dirt clod wars at work and stuff like that. But, speaking of concussions, we have an email from the Drake.
Oh,
yes.
Drake the Destroyer. Let me see. Where am I getting over here? Hopefully I don't lose you guys.
I've got it right here. I can read it.
Okay, you go ahead and read it.
Yeah. So the email from Drake subject line is "Grillin' in the name of."
Fuck.
Little throwback to Rage Against the Machine. Hello, Ramblers. To make things clear. So first of all, before I read this email, not only was he clearing the air, but his entire email is highlighted. Now, I don't know if that was a cut and paste error or if he really wanted to highlight his thoughts. Either way, I respect it. To make things a little clear about the grill, I am not an anti-veggie whatever. But when it comes to grilling, there's a huge difference between cooking and heating up something. If you're heating up something, it does not and should not be directly over the hot zone of the grill. You make a grill into zones specifically for this reason. one for cooking and one for warming or keeping warm. I am not going to risk undercooking actual meat and risk getting people sick because it sat too long in the temperature danger zones.
He had no problem poisoning me.
I.e. sitting outside in the heat/humidity on a plate. On this particular occasion, I was not interested in prolonging anyone from eating or wanting the coals to die on me because all the actual meat was cooked. So I moved the veggie patties to the outside of the grill and put the actual meat over the coals. Regards, Drake. P.S. Fuck you, Matt, for sharing that we cuddled. That was supposed to be our precious secret. At least they don't know who was the big spoon. So
you're both pretty tall, but I think
there is some more light being shown on this particular scenario.
I know, I was there.
I did not realize that this was a charcoal grill.
Yes, it was a charcoal grill.
So that being said, just jumping in as a voice of impartial reason.
Wait, you're not gonna go off on this like you did Game of Thrones, are you?
No, okay, I will
Right.
not.
Okay.
So the statements made in his email about the zones and the proper heating zones of a grill are absolutely 100% true, especially when utilizing a charcoal grill. So I can understand where he's coming from. As for how the altercation ensued after that, I cannot speak to, but what he stated in this email is true fact. There are heating zones specifically used in different areas of the grill for different purposes.
Well, couldn't you heat the veggie burgers? Could you just microwave them?
You know what? I have nothing to add to this fucking conversation.
I'm just asking.
I've got nothing else to add.
Seltzer in the nose is painful.
You were taking a drink when I made that comment, and you were just like, holy shit, I did not expect Matt to say that.
However, blueberry lemonade flavoring in your nose isn't terrible.
So I surprised you more than Game of Thrones did.
But could you not microwave it?
You could. You could microwave it.
You can microwave anything, but doesn't mean it's going to be good.
No. But it's a veggie burger. It's not like it's going to be tasty anyway, right?
So
they were tasty. I will say they were tasty veggie burgers.
I'll say this: like I'm trying to recall what the whole scenario was, but
all right, I'm not even going to go back.
I'll tell it
seriously.
I guess what we could all agree upon is that perhaps the communication about what was described in said email was not made super clear live in the moment, and Matt was not super understanding of what was going on in the grill. Ergo, there was a miscommunication in the center.
I was there. I didn't see any miscommunication. He did say. I do remember him saying the zone though. There's a zone to the grill.
Sure, yeah. There's also a T zone on the face.
I do remember that. I do remember the word zone.
I've got nothing against Drake. Drake and I, we shared a lovely cottage together. We had a beautiful view of the lake. Great mornings, with birds chirping. I won't tell you who was the big spoon, but maybe Dan was.
Was Dan there too?
No.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate Drake's efforts. But I would like to put these coals to rest.
Ooh, well done.
Nice job.
All right, your greatest use of pun.
I'll drop.
I am a dad, so
I'll drop.
I got the dad pun joke.
All right, grill talk is done.
I should have filmed it. If I knew it was going to be that explosive, I would have filmed it.
Or not.
We can say that it's still a little rare in the middle, but it is done.
They have a little bit of life to them.
You'd be like, I'm the fucking host of Owen and Brew's fucking barbecue. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Look, I've got the hat.
All right.
I can invite whoever I want on the show. And
I do appreciate.
He did say that with me standing there.
I do appreciate Drake sending in an email, as we do encourage all of our listeners to send in an email.
Yeah, we love emails. We love feedback. We don't necessarily have to ramble for over an hour. It's a tough thing.
We will.
You can send us an email to RCADCast at
gmail.com.
Once again, it's RCADcast at gmail.com. I don't know if we had any reviews. I forgot to check.
Maybe we'll check that for next time. But you can also follow us on Twitter as well as Instagram, where sometimes we post stuff. Sometimes we're a little lazy, like me.
We had a little dry spell there. It's only been me.
Yeah, it has been a dry spell. That's what she said.
Yeah.
But anyway, RCADCast. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter that way.
I tried to get my granddaughter to wear these sunglasses that her mom bought her to post on the thing with her Gilligan's hat on. She was having no part of it. She kept taking the glasses off and throwing them. I said, no, this will be a cute picture. Put the glasses on, put your thing. And she just kept throwing it. I go, come on. So after a while, she's just having no part of it. She's 9 months old, and she's very stubborn.
Kids.
Yeah. I mean, how's your youngest one doing there, Chris? Are you sleeping through the night?
He's doing great, man. No, not yet. I'm actually due to go up there and feed him in just a few minutes.
Is that 3 weeks now?
He's going to be actually. So what is it? He will be a month old tomorrow.
A month old? God.
Yeah. So by the time this show comes out, he'll be over a month old.
Do you have him on Propecia?
No. Kid's got a full head of hair. That's for sure.
I hate him already then.
No, he's doing great, man. Like he's he's doing a whole lot of eating, shitting, and pooping, just like his that's two things of the same color. So he's eating, sleeping, and pooping, as I meant to say. But no, he's awesome. He's fantastic. He's going through all those phases for any fathers that are listening, where you go from like a whole blank stare of like, I'm just going to cry my head off until I get food, to all of a sudden he starts recognizing you, or he or she starts recognizing you.
Right.
And like facial expressions, not there yet, but there's definitely like moments of recognition, which are kind of cool. So very basic stuff, but
I know this person, he feeds me. Yeah.
And I swear I got a smile tonight. Either that or you took a huge dump. I'm not quite sure, but it's heartwarming. It really is. It's amazing being a parent, being a father is one of the most rewarding and amazing things you could ever ask for. And I'll be honest with you, I was very nervous about our 7-year-old and how things would play out with her. And there have been a couple of times where she's whined a little bit about the attention type of thing, but it kind of subsided.
Well, it's hard because she's been the only one.
Yeah. But she's been an incredible big sister, helping out to the fullest that she can in her abilities to help. And she's head over heels in love with them, which is very important. So
they always are when they're babies.
Oh, I know. So I'm just gonna ride this wave as long as
you got to ride it as long as you possibly can.
I think there's a big enough age gap. Plus, like you reading Harry Potter to her and stuff like that. You're doing the right thing. So
yeah. I'm definitely making a conscious effort to try and take every opportunity that we can to put the focus on her. Recently the weather's been nicer. I can walk her to school. It's we live about the path in which we take is about a mile, so it's a good 20-minute walk with a 7-year-old, 22 or 25-minute walk, and she loves it. She enjoys it. It's like her time with my wife or with me in the mornings, which is nice. So it's awesome.
Do you get a ride back, or do you walk the mile back?
I walked back. So funny story I'll share about that in the extended edition. There is a funny story about the walk back.
All right. School. Well, is that all we have? Is that we're going to wrap it up right now?
I think we'll leave it to the extended.
All right, guys. This show would not survive. I forgot to thank the patrons in the start of the show. Do you know that?
I noticed that, and I
forgot all about it.
I did give a shout out to the $5 extension. So if you're a patron that
all right, Matt, you're fan favorite. You don't have to keep buttering people up.
I'm not a fan favorite. This is never to a vote. This is all you, Jack. So it makes me feel like an egotistical asshole. Which
I know. That's why I keep bringing it up.
Okay, thanks. Great. At the $15 level, you can join us for a live show. $5 gets you to the extended podcast. And for those special patrons that go above and beyond, just like Drake the Destroyer, there are a few patrons that make this happen. So, and it helps out all of the podcasters and keeps the lights running, right, Jack?
Exactly. Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Ricknick-Leffelder, who has been crazy funny on Twitter lately, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier, and Drake the Destroyer. Thanks for you doing. Thanks for what everyone does. And also, don't forget about Amazon.
It does help. jandjack.com/Amazon. Every little bit helps, and you can go on there and shop for your favorite meats, as well as, maybe a new grill.
Yeah, and in fact, they have a new grill out that labels the zones.
Labels the zones.
It's like meat zone, heat zone, lettuce zone, or vegetable zone. So it has a different. It has like a little thing on there that tells you what zone you're in.
It's called the Great Drake's Grill.
There's also the friend zone.
The friend zone. That is actually a cold zone.
Yeah. There's no cold there. It's just you just put it there and nothing happens.
Some would say that it's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, there you go. It doesn't get to the grill.
It never gets to the no.
And some people say that there is no friend zone.
It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination.
Except on the grill. Yep. That's all we got. But thanks for listening. If you like this show, subscribe to us. Tell a friend. We're always
rate and review us.
A review. We get one of Matt's original drawings. We're trying to be the number one podcast in America. We're taking over for Nerdist since nobody wants to listen to them anymore. So we're here, guys. We're here. We had a great Game of Thrones review.
Sorry.
That was good.
It was good. I like to hear both sides. And that's all we got, guys. Hasta luego. And goodbye.
Great show, kids. 1 in a million. I had to get it in before you.
I know. That's why I'm waiting for Chris. All right. See you next Tuesday.
He stole mine. What a dick.
Well, I was waiting for you. Wasn't I waiting?
Yeah, you were. We can't wait forever for you to drop it.
You were texting or something. I don't know.
Oh, no, I was looking at our reviews, and I actually gave us a 5-star review.
Oh, nice.
We're at 4.5. How are we at 4.5? Who gave us a 1 star?
I guess we'll find out in the extension. Good night, Jack.
All right, bye.